Yahweh, God and Creator, we offer thanksgiving to know your presence is with us. We submit ourselves fully unto your life-giving breath. And breathing deep. Avunalo kondreves misilia shnaro undra korra kondra koni devikes misilia batruinir kotori ismail romu yosu. Galbla kunme suzibe tudu kondre vias masipiatra machal. And breathing deep. We then exhale and release our ties or experiences throughout this day of anything that was not of God's presence, anything that did not reveal the nature of his divine grace, love, purity, sanctity, joy, peace, unity. We embrace the wholeness of God's presence within this time, freed from any and all spiritual influence, freed from any allegiance we have performed to our religious or spiritual beliefs that falls short of the nature of God. We embrace the holy recognition that it is God's Spirit that governs us, draws us close to manifest the holy design of all things blessed within us. We breathe deep. And before I begin, I want to just extend to you each, I feel upon my heart to state to you that Ina sends her love and her blessings to each and every one of you, and just wants you to know that she is deeply immersed in many things of her new business, and the time, the way her schedule unfolds, has not permitted her to be here quite a bit, and then she also has a number of matters that she's dealing with within her family that need to be dealt with that are very important to her. So please know that she continues to hold you each in prayer each day and continues to extend love to you and continues to extend love and her presence into this call, even though she needs to meet the needs of clients and individuals coming upon the business and all the things she has to accomplish. So we just extend from this group and all of you who listen, not only thanksgiving for the gift of the love that God has bestowed upon our hearts, but that we are blessed in this holy opportunity to extend love back unto her, unto her family, unto her business, and all things she has taken on through her consulting service to other golf courses. And we pray in thanksgiving to know that God precedes her and precedes each and every one of you in the tasks and demands of your day, your work life, your families, your friends, all people you have seen or recognized upon this earth that face any form of difficulty or suffering. We join with you in this prayer through grace healing and extend to you the opportunity to engage within prayer each and every day, to raise up any needs you reveal, as we stand in awe of our God and in reverence of all that He's created. And actually, that's where my heart has been sitting most of today, is just in this clear sense of reverence and awe. Reverence for that which is created and awe for that which created it, our God, our Creator. And over these past months, there have been many things that have been led to share that deepen the understandings within Grace Healing and the different teachings that we're blessed to share through this body. And as I shared, a couple weeks ago and then last week, there's been a number of different attacks that Grace Healing has experienced throughout the years. But that's not where I want to spend my time, because we could spend hours on that and talking about what was gained from it and gained from the process and how God's Spirit continued to manifest love within it. But what I want to do is look into some of those situations to reveal the blessing that was unfolding as individuals are trying to destroy or take down Grace Healing. And one of them, this one has always just really taken my heart tremendously. And as my sister Pamela knows, we were blessed to have a beautiful sister in our lives that had special needs. And people called her handicapped or mental retarded and all this stuff. And they just didn't understand. Like I'd seen this quote one time. I asked God to make my handicapped child whole. And God said, no. His spirit is whole. His body is only temporary. So if we could honestly move ourselves to a place of reverence for the nature of understanding that all things in their season must manifest in their season, because God is reaching through the nature of our human existence to reach into the order of principalities, the spiritual realm, to bring all things into newness of life. We are blessed in this experience of humanity. Our spirits are still whole and perfect before God, lacking nothing. All the suffrage we witness resides within our flesh, the soul, manifesting within our bodies through disruption, disease, or sickness. The reality is the very spirit nature that we hold before God is pure, perfect, and as God sees it to be. So can we possibly look at the situations that we witness in a sense of reverence to say, wait a minute, the situation I see unfolding before me, God said all things in their season. So what is it that God wishes for me to see? How is it that God wishes me to look upon this in reverence and in awe of his presence, in awe of her nature, her wisdom, her clarity, her purity? If we would do this, we would begin to find reverence for situations we used to fear. We would find reverence for people of other beliefs because we know that they must sustain within that ground in order for God to reach the spiritual grounds that they walk. If we looked upon all things first by God in awe, we would see the aspects within our belief that do not align with God's nature. And we would be freed to move into a state of reverence before God because we would become one with the holy nature and attributes of God. We would begin to honor things at a higher level. Like, for instance, I heard a beautiful native quote. Our women have been chosen by our Creator to be the portal between the spirit realm and the physical realm. They are the only creation manifested to navigate unborn spirits onto this planet. Now, if that isn't a statement of reverence, I don't know what is. So, is it that we as men, for generations and thousands of years, have tried to claim, possess, or oppress the one form of creation that God revered so highly that he said, you, woman, I will establish in you the ability to bring unborn spirits unto this planet by my grace through your vessel, your body. That it is by my design that the holy creation I have formed will evidence through you. And can we as men rise up and honor that within women? That God elevated them so high to use them as the holy instrument. If we encounter a situation where we are questioning or in doubt of the nature of how we're responding to a woman, or a woman is responding to another woman, can we honestly take a deep breath, center first upon God's presence, and allow for God to help us to see in reverence the person that stands before us? If we see a man in aggression, hostility, control, manipulation, or deceit, can we look into him to stir the feminine of God's presence through holy sanctity, wisdom, and clarity? Can we honestly and truthfully embrace in awe that God's holy design is unfolding to culminate in the result that Yeshua spoke when he said, Before the completion of this generation, you will see the new heaven and the new earth. And as I've shared before, he was speaking to the generation of humanity, the singular generation of the totality of humanity, which has not fully emerged upon this earth yet. It is not a cycling and a recycling of life over and over again upon this planet. All humanity will be birthed upon this planet at some point or another. And before the completion of that generation, Yeshua said, you will see the new heaven and the new earth. We are participating in the process of renewal of the new heaven, meaning the order of principalities. The perfect of all heavens does not need to be new, renewed, made new, restored. The perfect of all heavens, residing deep within us in God's holy presence, is perfect, needs not be made new. It is the order of principalities that needs to be made new. It is this earth that needs to be made new and all who dwell among it. And if we can honestly shift our hearts to first God, embraced through awe, thanksgiving, praise, and worship, and not moved to a place, if any of you remember, from like the 60s, 70s, and back into the 50s, they actually used words within Catholicism, the nuns, the teachers, and also through other practices of faith, Christian faith, that fear was the foundation of love. Because they allowed themselves to believe one alteration within Scripture, where the architects of that writing chose to change the word to hold Yahweh Elohim in awe above all creation, changed it to thou art to fear the Lord your God. Set one small statement. And that birthed into religiosity generations of people that actually believed that foundation was the true, fear was the true foundation to love. In order to gain God's love, you must enter fear. Now that people have begun to awaken and return to the awareness of what God truly is, which is love without fear, people are willing to set some of that aside. But it's fascinating as we watch when people embrace this mindset and they form an allegiance with it in their youth or into their young adulthood, they have forgotten they've established this allegiance. They've forgotten that they could approach God in awe, like a child looking to their parent in absolute love and adoration, not fear and cowering back. But if we could remember this, and remember reverence, and like I was about to say, the story that moved me so deeply was this beautiful experience down in Arizona, where I was blessed to come into this family's home, and they wanted me to pray over their child because they wanted their child restored. This child was living a life in his 20s. He had what is defined by man as Down syndrome and a number of other issues of mental retardation. So I came into this space, and I had mentioned this to you before, but I feel it's important for people to understand that you can even sit in reverence of situations like this. And I saw this young man come out, and his parents said he never comes out for anybody, and for whatever reason he chose to come out and just came right to me. We sat down, and as I began to pray, tongues started coming forth in beautiful language. What I heard was Aramaic, and he just started speaking openly in tongues. We were having this beautiful conversation. God's Spirit within him, stirring understanding, clarity, and wisdom from within him, as God's Spirit within me was stirring understanding, clarity, and wisdom. And the two of us were having this amazing dialogue in the spiritual, while his parents were standing there with their jaws on the floor, listening to this child that they thought was broken pour out this incredible depth of prayer and love and joyfulness, and is smiling, bubbling over, just ecstatic with life. I'm laughing inside myself in awe of what's unfolding in front of me because I know it has nothing whatsoever to do with me. And I am just blessed to be in this holy dialogue as God is speaking directly from within this boy and directly back unto this boy. To say to this child, I see you, I know who you are. You have not forgotten me, yet they cannot see you. If only they would draw into me first, you would see the perfect nature of what this child's spirit is within my sight. And that he is merely here in this form for the season as I reach through his presence to bring restoration to all things of a spiritual nature that you, the family who surround him, carry, and those things that he has encountered upon this earth through the trials and tribulations of his walk. I see him perfect in spirit before me. And I speak these words of life, strength, and vitality. Draw to me first. Seek me first, and you will know as I see this most precious child. You will recognize the very nature of my design in all that is unfolding, and you will find that you lack nothing. For this most precious gift, my son, is whole within my sight. And yes, many things of a spiritual nature will be restored upon his presence upon this earth. Seek me first and know me within it. And I want to remind you of these words. Reverence for that which is created. Awe for that which created it. Stand in awe of the very nature of our loving God and Creator. Stand in awe of the love that is perfection, that we all fall short of, but we have opportunity to draw to in our times of need. And we breathe as one. Offering thanksgiving, praise, and worship. Atami Khalevelesh Matriatru Cumbrie, Tutarevis Misipiatru Cumbiaba. Yahweh, God and Creator, Yeshua, Sanctifier and Redeemer, Abun, the life-giving breath that resides within us. We stand in awe, thanksgiving, praise, and worship, and pray that you would increase within us reverence, clarity, understanding for all things as you witness them by your sight. May we be heightened in the ability to return unto you first in each and every situation we encounter. May we rise to reflect your presence and your glory in every situation we face. May we become vessels of your love in the midst of lack. Your love to transform the mindset of man that actually embraces war, thinking he can manifest peace through embracing the spirit of war. May we see a newness of life in each and every breath we encounter, to recognize your presence within. As we praise you in your most blessed and holy name, Yahweh Elohim Aturakai v'nemesi sirietru, Iliachal Menachalam Urkotorivis Mesiabra, Yeshua Ulme V'rakandri Yemokora. Avon Solo Ondrevish Nikierbien. Amen. May you each be blessed in a deep and restorative sleep within God's embrace, and find yourself renewed for the tasks of your day and all that you will face throughout this week. May you rise to the challenge to first seek God within awe, then look upon his creation to understand with reverence how his Spirit sees things unfolding before you and how her wisdom can transform all things to be things of blessing, even if they seem corrupt before you now. Have a blessed and remarkable night, and know that you are loved. And both Einar and I are available for you as you reach. and stand within God's love each and every day for you. Have a blessed and holy night. And for those that receive this message during the day, have a blessed and holy day. Be restored and renewed as you enter your workplace, and find God's presence in every breath that you receive. Amen.